You can see what the setup looks like. It should look pretty all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna thingy my bob. Get you up on my screen. When Penny's gone live.
Wendy Penny.
Yeah, it's like my favorite name for you.
Yeah. Isn't it weird that we don't call each other by our real names very often? Does it feel weird calling me by my real name?
I honestly sometimes forget your name is your name because I don't know. Like, I'm in shock sometimes. I'm like, who the fuck's Brandon? Who calls their kid Brandon? Sorry. No,
who calls their kid Bren? Just yeah, it's a weird
I'm
name.
joking,
It's like kind of a weird name. Sometimes I overthink my name. Like,
I mean, so do I. I'm being racist because I think your name should be something else.
what? Tetsuo, like you said?
I didn't say that.
You're the only person who thinks that because like I don't think I look very Asian. I was saying that at the beginning of my stream earlier. When I first wake up, I look more Asian, and then my eyes get colonized by the European in me, and we go.
Oh my god, not colonized. That's so funny.
So,
That's hilarious.
so yeah, I don't know. I don't look that Asian, but yeah, Brendan's a weird name, in my opinion.
I mean, it's not weird. It's just it's not what I thought your name would be.
No weird.
And honestly, for ages, well, when I was first in the streams, I thought your name was Wen.
Oh, really? You thought my name was actually just Wen? My parents would be weird for doing that.
And then there was someone else in your community called Brandon.
Oh yeah, because there is Brendan spelled the exact same way, which is really weird.
And then that confused me. So I was like, what the fuck? And then I realized that your name was Brendan. I'm not gonna say your surname on stream because
I mean, most of them know. You know I looked it up. It just means like a branch or like lime tree, like a branch of a tree. Like, well, that's
I didn't know that. Well, why would I know that? I know like languages, but like, come on, why would I know that? Fucking hell.
I mean, you could. I don't know, right? I have no idea.
I'm loving the setup, by the way.
What's that?
I'm loving the setup.
Do you like it?
Yeah, let me host you. All right, I'm gonna have to get you up on my phone as well because I'm lazy. It's easy to host on the app than
it's
it is.
So much easier. So much easier.
You know, than going through your chat and then doing the whole I'm a coder host.
I actually don't even know how to host like outside of the mobile.
Oh, so I think is it /?
Yeah, probably /host, right? But
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just lazy. I don't know. I'm like the worst mod in the history of mods.
Oh, don't worry, me too.
Mod on like maybe 2 channels.
Well, because I'm mod on yours as well, and I'm like, oh shit.
Hey, you better get to work.
Hang on. I don't like multitasking these days. Speaking of multitasking, right? So
big host action. Oh, that's not in front of everything. Good. Move that alert box up. What were you gonna say?
So speaking of multitasking, so I've started using Twitter a bit more.
Okay.
I don't know. I was gonna post a tweet and decided not to post it because I was like, no, because people are gonna think I'm like really filthy. So
now I want to know what this tweet was.
So basically, I was just gonna say that awkward moment when you're taking a slash, you choke on your mouthwash. But then I don't need people think. Well, I just needed a slash when I was gargling my mouthwash. I almost died. And then I was like, actually, no, because I don't want people to think I'm some sort of tramp. Because I was just swishing my mouth out.
Oh, and, you think that's what people would say? Did you say taking a slosh? What was that term you just
said? A slash. Like a slash.
Yeah, okay.
Having a piss.
Yeah, that's not a term that we use at all. Taking a slash is a term for having a piss?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I've never heard that in my life. That is brand new to me. Okay, got you.
Oh, yeah. I was just... it was horrible.
Why did you... You're really overthinking that one.
Yeah, and I thought that'd be a bit funny, wouldn't it? And then I was like, no, because people are going to be like, why is there mouthwash in your mouth when you're taking a wee-wee? And it's because I just finished brushing my... I don't have to justify it. I just finished brushing my teeth, part of the routine. Then I'm going to scrape my tongue after. Because that what you're supposed to do. I don't fucking know.
Are you supposed to... Like, I've always wondered if you're supposed to be scraping your tongue or not. But I'll brush my tongue. I don't fucking know.
After my health scare recently, I've just been taking precautions.
Hey,
Like,
fair enough.
literally in every single way, in every single way.
I mean, well, this is the thing is like I find with me, because I think you and I are both hypochondriacs, very much so. So I think
Why
the best way to
expose me like that?
I-
No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I actually am. I didn't
Hey,
even know that was
Charlotte.
the word.
Good to see you. Yeah, hypochondriac, where you just like you think everything is a health crisis.
Well, honestly, I thought that was just someone really bad anxiety. You know, like a psych. I mean, like someone who. I don't know how to explain it. I just didn't think it was that. And then someone called it me when I had health anxiety, and I went, "Don't be rude." And they're like, "No, that's actually the term." And I was like, "It isn't." And then I researched it and got told about myself basically. So that was embarrassing.
Being sickly, I don't think you're sickly. I was gonna say though, like it's just doing those like positive things for yourself really help. Like it's just about trying to get ahead of it, right? So if I'm out there getting as good a night's sleep as I can, or like staying active, trying to get the good stuff in, I worry less about the random stuff that pops up. But I've always been like, if I don't know, if you want to go into it, because like for me, my hypochondriosis started when my parents got divorced when I was in like elementary school. And
Oh shit.
I remember thinking that everything was like gonna kill me. Like so I'd do something and I'd be like, am I gonna die? My parents like, no, relax. But like I don't know. I've always kind of been that person. And then having real health concerns hasn't helped with that. But it's just been that way ever since. Like, where do you think yours came from? Like, did it just kind of surface randomly?
I think mine came from when I started contraception. So it was just the way she started saying things, and then it kind of started happening. I was like, for fuck's sake, did you unintentionally cast a spell on me? So basically, she was like, you get the injection, it's for 3 months, and then after that, you'll never have a period the same for a while. And I'm like, beg your pardon. You told me that after.
Yeah.
And I've always had this was like before, but I've always had like a thing for hospitals anyway. So I was in there, and then I started to feel dizzy. Like, can I sit down for a minute? And then I went, no, I'm going to have to lie down. And she went, what's wrong? I went, these environments do me in. Like, they really fucking do me in. I had to lie there for 20 minutes. She went, are you okay? I went, no. Walked home. I was fine. And then I didn't have a period for 2 months. And then I started getting weird pains in my legs. And then I was triggered because when I was living in Shanghai, my friend was complaining about a pain in his leg. I know basically the pain would have to be to the point of you being like, I'm gonna KMS. But he had a blood clot and it almost killed him if he hadn't gone soon enough. So that's where my mind went. So I was getting calf pains, and then I was occasionally getting headaches, and then suddenly I started feeling dizzy and I started feeling generally ill. And then that was from this started the day I stopped speaking to that guy.
Right.
And that was honestly one of the main reasons, because I was just feeling so awful. And when I was trying to explain that, he then tops it off with all of his health issues, and I was like, this is not a competition. Do you want to answer Charlotte?
I can answer Charlotte.
Am I reading you chat?
No, that's fine. Read my chat. If you want to incorporate chat more, we can too. It's a little bit of both. It's whatever the guest is comfortable for. No, I get that too. I'm thinking maybe medical. No. So Charlotte, what this is about is it's more like just having like a one-on-one conversation with different people in the community, and just kind of like figuring out like what they're inspired by in their life, and also like their experience with Twitch as a whole and things like that. And so it's just kind of like that.
Just warming up.
Just warming up though. Me and Novel were just, it's more of just a chat. It's like an interview. Yeah. It's like an interview for the most part. It can go wherever though. It's not like, because I had Ruddy on last week and it was very much about his experience streaming on Twitch, whereas it can be whatever, right? So we're just kind of, it's like a free form conversation about more real things. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. Thinking, yeah, a little medical, but yeah. So just wherever we go with it, we'll explore the more Twitch related stuff too. But yeah,
Then it went away. So like late October. So again, specific dates is how I remember things. I went to a whiskey tasting. That's when I started to feel a bit better, and then I was good for like that entire month. Then like 2nd December happened. You judging my drink? Yeah, there is alcohol in here. I'm not sorry.
There's also alcohol in here, Sign. So sorry, buddy.
So then I woke up. I think I was telling you like a few weeks ago. I woke up, had that sore throat. I was like, you joking? That's literally the first thing I said. And then I tried to calm myself down. I went, it's fine. It's just a sore throat. And then it didn't fucking go away for like 6.5 weeks. And the doctors were like, we don't really want to see anyone because of COVID, and we don't want to be looking in people's mouths. And I was like, shit. So then I eventually was able to get the doctor to give me what are those things called? Those antibiotics.
Oh, okay.
Sure, these might work, but if they don't, call me again. And I'm just like, I hope it's nothing serious. So I was, during this time, it started off, it was the sore throat, and then I got the fucking headaches. And then suddenly I couldn't breathe through my nose. And literally every single morning for a week, I would run to the bathroom and sniff my candles just to make sure I could still smell. The way I was going through these COVID tests was like a crackhead. It was bad. It was bad. Like the way I was inhaling these candles was embarrassing. And if I couldn't smell for 1 second, you know how bad it got? it got like bad gross. Like so sometimes if I woke up a bit sweaty, I would literally touch my pit and then sniff it just to make sure I could smell something.
You were in a bad spot for that weekend.
I was mentally fucked. And then I started to feel better, but also the headaches were the scariest one. And at this time, I was Googling my symptoms, which is one thing you should never do, guys.
Don't, yeah.
So, obviously, they told me I had tumors, I had cancers, I had cysts. Google is not your friend. So I was sleeping sitting up for like a week, and then decided to Google something again. And it was like, sometimes if you sleep sitting up, you can give yourself some vascular issues. And I was like, I don't fucking know that. But I was sleeping sat up because I was scared of the headaches. The headaches felt like it felt like someone was slowly going over my head with a wheel.
What?
And every time I lay down, I felt this immense pressure on my head to the point where I'd sit up and I'd just burst into tears. Like I was crying every single day. I'd be in the bathroom at 6. I was waking up every day at 6 a.m., which usually not a bad thing for me.
Right.
But it's more because I was waking up because of all these health concerns.
Jesus.
So it got to a point, must have been 2 weeks ago. I had like quite a good day. I was feeling okay. I still had the headache. And then I was like, I have to lie down at some point. I can't keep going on like this. So I lay down. I eventually got over the head throbbing, and it was one of the scariest experiences because I was like, should I go to the hospital? Because it just felt like someone was aggressively twerking on my forehead, and not even in a good way. So I was just like, So then I fell asleep. I woke up feeling like I had a hangover. But then the headache slowly started to subside, and then eventually it got a bit better. The sore throat kind of came again a couple of weeks ago. Did a whole test and everything.
All good.
But in terms of health, I don't fucking know. I just hope I'm going to be alive until I'm at least 50.
I mean, I think you're going to make it to 50.
At this point, I'm just hoping. I'm just hoping at this point.
I mean, okay, so I guess, what kind of came up for me is I know that you've talked about having like all of these existential crises in the past that just feel heavy and insane. Do you feel like since you've been worrying about health that those have subsided, or have they been like comorbid?
It was a different kind of existential crisis. Because generally I'll just be like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die one day. And then now it was just like, it was different because whatever I was worried about going in my body, I didn't have control over. So it wasn't more about, oh, one day you gonna die, bitch. This felt really imminent. Like I'd wake up in tears on the phone to the doctor, like, am I dying? To which they'd be like, you're young and healthy. And then I'd see something on TikTok like, the doctors told her she was young and healthy, now she's dead. And I'm like, fuck. Like, shit, like, that's gonna be me. Like, I can't deal with this. And I don't know, maybe it was like law of attraction, or you know how the internet works. You're looking at one thing, you'll see it somewhere else, or the cookies and the biscuits and all that shit. And
Cookies and the biscuits. Yeah.
So yeah, so it was like one thing after another. If it wasn't one thing that was worrying me, I found something else. It was either the headaches or the breathing or fucking cervical cancer, breast cancer. So I didn't know. It was just one thing that led to another, and I just didn't know like what to do until I started to feel generally better. Sometimes I'd have my days where I was like, well, there'd be nothing you can do about it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it too.
But also, I don't like the idea of not being here.
I get that. I think you and I have talked about this before.
I have an issue with it.
But it's weird, right? But
it bothers me.
Because I think we have a hard time as just human beings and the way we exist comprehending the end of it all for us personally.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It's like our brain is just not equipped for that. And I don't know if that's like an evolutionary thing, but it does feel weird. It's like there was that we obviously didn't exist until our birth, and there's no memory of that before. But the idea after we become conscious of not being here, I can't quite make sense of it either.
Yeah. Well, life is all we know. We can't. Yeah, this is true.
That's a good point, Charlie. That's a very good point.
Very, very valid point. I don't know what to do with it. Like, just hang on. My supermarket's messaging me. I feel bad for like even looking at an email whilst I'm on stream. It's because I'm gonna take a photo for Twitter and be like, I'm on live with Wenny Penny.
Hey, there you go. Do it. Yeah.
Sorry. Carry on. Yeah. But yeah, it's like how.
Supermarket message you, by the way. What is that about? I've never gotten a message from my...
you know, like what are those things like deals?
Oh, like okay,
yeah,
like
promotion.
Deals. Yeah, promotions. I've never once. Safeway has never hit me up in my DMs.
I don't like how I look better on these two cameras than I do on my phone right now. This isn't giving me. Sorry, the hair flip was so dramatic. Like,
honestly, just bring all the drama.
I did not need to do
hair
that.
flips for all of us.
We'll do one. Oh, I like a shadow. The contrast is not doing me well.
That's tough.
At least I was honest. We'll do one. We'll do one here.
Heck yeah.
Wait, I can't be so because I've got your fucking stream up on here as well.
Yeah. Just take a picture of you. I don't have to be on there.
Swear, by the way.
Yeah, you can be swear. I mean, have you seen the stream that I run?
Yeah.
I have people asking me that all the time. Am I allowed to swear on stream? I'm like, yeah. Like I always say the most suspect things.
This is true. To be honest, I don't help whenever I'm in your chat.
Yeah. You're always wilding in chat. To be honest.
Literally.
Oh, that's so funny. What were we talking about before? Before the super
anxiety, the existential crisis,
right?
Yeah.
Well, and you know what's funny is I think for me, I think most human beings actually struggle with that idea of being gone after you die, if that is the case. And I think it's why a lot of us gravitate towards religion and spirituality. I think it's why I've always been in some level religious and or spiritual. I mean, I was raised Christian, but I'm very much not religious now. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Are both your parents that religion?
My dad's still pretty Christian, I'd say. My mom has very much redefined herself and her own beliefs. She became much more spiritual than religious, which is really interesting to me because she was the kind of lady who's like, I wasn't allowed to read Harry Potter growing up because it has magic in it. And now she's like, we're like talking about our tarot card readings together.
Oh, I love that. I love a tarot reading. Sometimes they're a bit too accurate, and I'm like, oh,
I love one. I usually pull a card every morning, to be honest, or try to.
Oh, nice. Fair enough.
But yeah, and so what I was gonna say, and you know what's funny? My relationship with like God and Christianity now is that I don't have a firm belief in God as Christianity presents it, but I'm also too afraid to get rid of my Bible. So like, I don't know.
Oh, you know what? Honestly, I get it because sometimes like my grandma gave me one. I don't like actively read it, but I'll be like, I won't put it anywhere disrespectful because I don't fucking know, do I?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to get there and be like, you shoved me under that dusty pile of books. I'm like, oh no. Be like, yeah, Psalm, whatever number it is. Like, I don't know. I don't want to get to a situation, right?
Yeah.
And he's just there, like, he did the one wrong thing. But then at the same time, I'll probably get done for like being interested in Buddhism. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. And I get that. And then this is the thing too, right? Is like we don't really my stance is that like none of us really know what the truth is. I like the idea that it's well, I do firmly believe that every religion, every form of spirituality just has a different name and interpretation of the same thing. I do think that there is a little bit of a universal intelligence.
Even the Matrix.
Right, or that. But I just think we all interpret it a little bit differently. But which is why I think it's also sometimes damaging to say that this is 100% the way that it is, and you should be living your life this way. So I'm very much a bit of like, who knows? Could be real, could be not. But going back to it, I just think that's why we gravitate towards those things, is because we need a little bit of a sense of meaning outside of the what do you more?
We're live streaming.
Christianity is a weird subject. I mean, religion and spirituality is weird. I love touching on it. I absolutely love touching on it, but it's also a touchy subject to begin with too. But I think you just approach it with an open mind.
Absolutely.
You went to a private Christian school. Ooh.
I went to a private Catholic school.
Did you?
Yeah.
A little private school action, hey?
I went to a state school first, and then I had an anxiety attack about my grades, and my dad was like, if you move, it's going to be private. And I was like, that was my Gossip Girl dream. Hello. Like, the way I wailed, I know it's a first world issue, the way I wailed about not getting to private school, and like, I'm grateful that I went, but Jesus, it actually ruined my mentality. It was the root of a more permanent anxiety, because in the private school that I went to, they were like, you know, Ivy League or Russell universities, that's the best that you have to do. That's where you're all going to go. Hey, I can proudly admit I was a straight C, B student. Well, I did my best, but like, I was not getting those A's at A level. Like, I never did things to make my life easier. Like, my 3 core subjects were French, Spanish, and German, and English literature. I was writing essays all the time in fucking different languages. I didn't, it was just very intense. There was never a day where I was just like fully speaking English. It really fucked with me. So whilst I was the most competent in the languages, I actually didn't get the best grades. And it was funny because the people who got the best grades couldn't speak the fucking language. So
interesting.
I had a nervous breakdown on results day because all my best friends were going to Oxford, Cambridge, Durham, all these places, and I was in tears, and I was like, you motherfuckers lied to me. And I'm like, and I went, yeah, you sat there and you told all of us that we would go, and I know the onus is on us, but you can't sit there and feed us that bullshit. Not that I believe them. I kind of knew I wasn't getting them, but I thought it didn't help that they were basically saying there's no point in going to university if it's not a top university. And then this woman was like, you can still go to university. And I was like, I know I can still go, but you essentially brainwashed me into thinking that there's no point in going anywhere else. Yeah. And I still kind of think that now, to be honest, because I would not have gone to university if it wasn't for all the pressure. Like, there was actually no fucking point, because before I studied languages formally, I was teaching myself anyway. And I think unless you want to be a psychologist, a counselor, a doctor, a vet, a lawyer, something, not saying don't go, I'm just saying there are other ways around it without spending all that fucking money. If it was free, I'd tell everybody to go, but it's not.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's like you pile up mountains of debt, essentially, and for what too? So I think I very much like, I don't regret having gone to university. I think there was a lot of relationships that it brought into my life and stuff like that, and a lot of life experience. But I think in some ways it is like a grand like scam too, that to say that you need to go to university to be successful.
Like, what the hell?
Right? As I've just applied for our master's program, but still, like,
good luck. I hope you get it. Like, obviously.
I do too. I do too. I don't like to. I just gotta full on believe that it's possible. The objective version part of me says that like probably not, but let's not speak that into the
Signman said, so Christianity wasn't forced, but hearing God count for anything really hurt me. Yeah, that did a number on me too, because if anything bad happened, like within the school, a lot of drama happened in that school, or if, before an exam, like that was my favorite moment. Like before an exam, this teacher will say a prayer, so you all do one. I'm like, if you have not studied, you failed. I'm sorry. because I was that kid, right? Because I went there late and I wasn't like fully Catholic. I was like that 1% they let in, but everybody else was Catholic. So everybody had their heads down. And I was like looking around. And I went, "You didn't study."
That's so funny.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, like that one. It's like, you know what? No, I don't need to study. We're saying a prayer tomorrow. We're good. I'm passing with flying colors. Yeah,
no, I was like, I respected everything. I was like, I know you guys okay.
Space, what's up, buddy?
You're getting that getting out tomorrow.
Jesus. Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah. Space, I don't know why you're getting an ad and you are subbed. That seems toxic on my end.
Why has everybody got different colored
It's different times. So Sign's been subbed for 7 months. Charlotte's a 1 month. And Space he's got the 3-month badge. And then Sign has the 6-month badge. I just added a 1.5 badge actually.
Oh wow. To be fair, I mean, I know I don't sub that often. It's because a sub is like a bottle of wine. So I just wait. I'm not gonna lie. I honestly, this sounds so bad. I've never admitted this before.
Let's hear it.
Because there's always someone. Because I'm quite active in people's chats, but there's always someone who's nice enough to do it. And it's just like very gifted. Because I didn't realize how common it was for people, to support the. I'm like, yeah, good, support the stream and stuff like that. Yeah. And I remember my first few weeks on Twitch, and I went, who the fuck's gifting? I didn't do anything. And then I realized that sometimes it's random. I'm like,
you get gifted a sub, you're like, wow, this seems like too much responsibility.
And then, I think I've paid for it out of my own pocket once. So I'm like, whoa. That was
Yeah, it's a lot though. It's a lot. The culture of subbing on Twitch is really interesting because I sub to about 6 people on rotation, but that's a lot. That's like Netflix 3 times every month, and I'm like you sub on Twitch because
Netflix. How much is your Netflix? And how
$20.
many people you subbing to?
Yeah, Netflix is like $20 now. The price went up on Netflix. It's crazy. It's stupid. Actually, at this point, I don't know that Netflix is worth it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did I just not notice? And I'm being scammed.
I think religion is just used way too much for control, and that's why we get hurt. I'm spiritual, but I don't like organized religions. Yeah, Charlotte, very much agree. Yeah, very much agree. That. I don't like anything that tells you that you have to live your life this way.
Yeah. And not to bring up, good old juicy racism. I just personally think it's weird that, black people are, it's your choice, that's fine, but let's not forget there are religions that existed before it was battered and, pillaged into us.
I know. I actually always think about that too, is like the cultures and the races that are Christian, and you think about it, you're like, this was like forced upon you at one point. It is interesting.
Like when I see my grandmother's shrines, she basically has Jesus's and all this Christian stuff all around the house. I remember I stayed there for the first time in a while, and she has honestly, it made me feel a bit uncomfortable because I'm a pussy, but she has this giant mirror in front of the spare bedroom bed, and I was like,
mirrors in bedrooms, I hate them.
I don't mind mirrors. They just can't be I've got one here. It's not too big. I can't see it when I'm sleeping, but that you can see yourself when you're sleeping. But there's a big cross on it. I can't take it down because she'd know, and I was like, I've got to stay in there for 2 days.
She put a cross on the mirror?
She did. She doesn't have got one on.
Jeez, yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. Mirrors have always freaked me out. I went to a sleepover and saw like a horror movie about a girl trapped in a mirror, and like since then it just freaked me the fuck out. I was also like so easily scared as a child. Like Gremlins just fucking ruined me. And my
Oh my
mom is
God.
like, I thought you'd
That's
like
so
this
fucking
movie.
hilarious. That's hilarious. I love that.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for sure. We were touching on Twitch, and I kind of want to touch on your Twitch experience a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because it's the only reason all of us are
my
connected.
my messy Twitch experience.
Your messy Twitch experience. Well, what brought you to Twitch in the first place? Because we all kind of have a reason for having come here.
I love origin stories. Sorry. That's what I call them. Everybody asks me how I got somewhere. I'm like, you want to know my origin
the
story?
origin story?
My parents are killed in an alley. No.
And then I decided that I needed to talk to somebody playing a video game.
Yeah. Basically, so this would have been like October 2020. No, would it have been actually? Yeah, October 2020. Which is when Cold War came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, suddenly I got back into gaming that year because it was COVID. I broke my ankle at the beginning of the year. I learned how to walk again. I started that Instagram account that I was growing, and then it got to winter time, so we stayed inside a lot more, and it was still quarantine. And I was like, because I was playing, is it Black Ops 3, the one that's only online?
Black Ops 4.
That one then. And I connected with some people who were up all night playing that game. And then I heard that the new one was coming out, and then I saw it on YouTube, and I saw YouTube Live, and I saw some guy playing it. I was like, this looks fun. Do I want it? No, because I'm not good at online like that. But if zombies is good, I'll probably get it. Then I was watching his videos for 2 days. Then he disappeared. I don't know where the fuck he went.
Imagine a streamer just stop streaming.
And
Wouldn't
he
be
had a big following, so I was like, maybe this is a consistent mix. Yeah, he was in the millions. I don't know who the fuck I can't tell you his name now. He was in the millions. So I was just lay there and I was like, I need to watch more gaming. I was like, Twitch, does that still exist? I didn't realize it was still like a big thing. So I went to Twitch and I found this lovely guy. I can't remember his name, but then he raided someone. That's when I first experienced the raid. And I woke up like, where am I? Didn't click on you.
Didn't consent to this raid.
Yeah. So, and then this lovely guy, I still speak to him now. It's called Flower City Gaming. Very, very lovely. He was playing Call of Duty. Then he was playing Madden. We were up all night talking. And then I started exploring Twitch. And then a month later, I found you. And then I discovered Just Chatting. And that's when I realized that. I was like, I want to do this, because I thought it was also like a great way to connect with people.
It is,
and then that's 2020. It's 2021 rolls around. I'm like in people's Discord servers and shit. I'm supporting people, and the most important thing that I noticed, because obviously at the same time I was still doing mainly Instagram. That was kind of before people were like, everyone's actually leaving. If I'd realized in 2020 what I knew, if I knew what I knew now, I would have just gone straight to TikTok.
Yeah.
Because that's where all the exposure is. So me and my friends was having a discussion about like social media and stuff. I was telling them about like live streaming, and they were like, whoa. And I was like, I'm not 10 years in the future. It's actually really entertaining. So I found it interesting that there's so many people on this platform, but there are so many people outside of it who don't know what streaming is.
Yeah.
When people who aren't watching real people stream hear the word stream, they think Netflix or Prime Video. And it depends what niche you're in, but again, if you're in the gaming or tech niche, you know what Twitch is. Whereas a lot of people, they still don't even know it's like a thing. And whenever you bring up in conversation, they're like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So I thought, well, I've taken one too many breaks. But I wanted to, it's true, it's really true. The reason why I wanted to incorporate it into social media is because streaming's not going anywhere. And I don't think it will be for a long time. So Have you heard of the book Ready Player One?
Yeah.
Have you read it?
No. My exposure to Ready Player One is having seen 1/3 of the Spielberg film.
Oh, fair enough. So it's not a spoiler, but there's like this really interesting quote in it. Or like, it's like a quote, it's like a moment in the book where it talks about every person on their planet having their 15 minutes of fame because everybody has a channel that everybody, like one another subscribe to. And do you know the artist Andy Warhol?
Yeah.
I can't remember the quote, but he says something really creepy about everybody having their 15 minutes of fame in life at one point.
Interesting.
And I think if you apply that to today's context, it will be like to do with social media.
Yeah.
And I think it more relates to, at the moment, it will more relate to TikTok and the fact
right?
that
You'll have that one TikTok that blows up.
Yeah, and then the thing is though, I know it's a lot of people that are working on that viral video. The one thing that they don't realize is that unless the rest of your content is consistently, people won't follow you. Because I've had some people in my niche who do the whole book thing, and they're like, this video, it got loads of views and the others didn't. And I'm like, because you spoke about something else, and then they went onto your content and you were speaking about something else. Because that's a lot of people think that, you see like the 1.7 million views and you go and they've got like 5,000 followers, and the only way you'll get followers from a viral video is if you have no other content.
Okay.
So because a lot of people they'll do a stitch, and a stitch is a really good way to get exposure. Because the creator will see, depending on how many people have stitched it, the creator will see that the video has been stitched, and it's more likely to come up on people's For You page because the algorithm on TikTok actually does not give a shit how many followers you have. And TikTok is the only social media platform that I've experienced that literally doesn't give a flying fuck about your content. It will put it out there. Whereas with Instagram, it's about your followers, it's about your engagement, and the engagement on Instagram is really weird because it has to do with your likes, your comments, your consistency in those two. It has to do with how often you log in, how often you're scrolling, and it also weirdly, bizarrely has to do with how often you DM people.
What? That affects
that really fucked me off because I've been ignoring people, not on purpose, but like actually. I've not been on there, not been talking to you. I was scared to open the app because Instagram seems like a really judgy place right now. And I remember last year people were saying it's getting embarrassing to post on Instagram. And now I'm like, but it's true. And they're changing their algorithm in the next couple of months. And basically they're focusing more on video content. And I've been telling people this for ages. I'm like, stop posting pictures. Like, nobody gives a shit about the perfect feed anymore. They really don't. Oh wait, you posted the quote. When people are ready to, they change. They never do it before then, and sometimes they die before they get around to it. You can't make them change if they don't want to. Just like when they do want to, you can stop them.
Is that one of his quotes? Holy cow!
That's one of his quotes. I can't remember if that was the one. I had someone claim that I took that picture. What?
I think this was a separate. This is Sign talking about ours currently. This is different. That's a heady quote. Oh, on Insta, I see. You took their NFT sign? The hell, man.
Let me put this live on Money Penny's stream.
Do it. I think that's so interesting, and like the perspective from you of a content creator and your take on Instagram as it stands compared to TikTok and things like that is wildly interesting to me.
You have Twitter. Sorry, there you are.
Do I have one?
No, I found you Twitter.
Twitter? Yeah, I don't use it very much. Did you find my personal Twitter or my Wendeavor?
No,
Twitter?
just you Wendeavor Twitter. That'd be really weird. It'd be really weird if I tagged that. Really weird.
Yeah, I don't do anything honestly. Okay, so there's like a lot of questions that I have right now. One that still sticks out to me though is your take on where you think streaming as a whole is headed, because as someone who streams, it's very very clear that the real growth happens outside of Twitch.
Oh yeah, so it's at the moment growth happens outside of Twitch because people don't know about Twitch. All the people who it's Twitch, from what I've seen and studied about it, is like it's very, very, very large universe of itself. So if someone isn't interested in you, they're not going to go and tell other people, oh, you may like this, but I don't like it. And also because Twitch operates on Twitch, it's very difficult, and it's also a lot of it is to do with like gaming. Unless you're interested in gaming, or you know that there's just chatting on Twitch, you're not going to go seeking out content on Twitch, which is why people need to make content outside of Twitch because they're not aware of the world of live streaming. For example, though, if I do a post on Instagram or TikTok, let's say it's a recipe for cream fried chicken, because I did that last week. That's what I made. Let's say it's a recipe, right? If I post that to Instagram, that is out there, but because of the language that I have used, it will appear in several other places. And you can look at your analytics and stuff like that. So it's like how, you know how Twitch sometimes counts views for the people who are watching outside, but it's never usually that many. That's how it works. It's the same with, for example, you research the news, right? You Google news and tweets come up first.
Right. So
if you say you type in and then you'll see tweets as well, because that's a fast way of getting information out. So because a lot of people, not enough people know about this social media platform, which is why I need to create content to get people there, because finding streamers on here is more effort than finding someone on TikTok. Like, you have to sit there for several minutes, and let's not forget, people are shallow. Twitch is like a dating site. If they do not like the look of you, or if they're racist, or if they're homophobic, they're gonna click off, or they're gonna say something bad and then fuck off. So you need to also remember, that's why as well, people have more success on YouTube and on social media in general when they post pictures of themselves, because human beings are nosy bastards. So yeah, so that's the reason why it's not, I don't think it's about, it is hard to grow on Twitch, but I think it's hard to get exposure because the only people you're exposed to are people who know about Twitch. And in hindsight, if you compare the population of Facebook, which still has probably the highest population of people on that social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, Pinterest would actually be last actually, and then TikTok would be near the top two. Yeah. If you compare the statistics of the people on those apps to Twitch, they're not even in the same realm. You need to remember that the only people on Twitch are people who know about Twitch and who want to be here. People are on Instagram because their friends and family on Instagram. They're on Facebook because their friends and family on Instagram.
Yeah. Interesting. That's Penguin. What's up, buddy?
Hi, Penguin. Hope you're having a nice day of the dream stream.
The dream stream is right. Oh yeah, novel is top tier content, to be totally honest.
I need to finish this tweet. I just want to tell my 41 followers versus my 12K on Instagram that I never fucking posted. They think I'm dead. I've actually had people messaging me like, "You alright?" I'm like, I'm depressed. I'm depressed.
Be real with them.
They think I'm joking. I'm like, no, yeah.
It's okay though. It's okay to be real and open with them. I think that benefits you. I mean, did you finish the tweet? If you haven't finished it, you could finish the tweet.
Novel 41 is better than Wen's 9. So.
On Twitter? I don't even know how many.
You know what's really funny? I thought you talked about inches then. I was like, have you seen it?
Have I seen it? Yeah. There's only one person that I will sext, and it's Penguin.
I'm gonna say it's so interesting and different from me and Novel. Wait, what? It's so interesting.
What's gonna say this?
It's so interesting.
Oh, are you saying just in terms of the people that you are? Because Sign will probably be on next week. But this is the thing,
right,
though.
Yeah.
This is what I want.
We're the complete opposites.
That's good. That's
some
good.
of the stuff that I say to him that I would say off stream. It's so fucking out of pocket.
It's so out of pocket. That's why, as a person, you just keep me on my toes, which is what makes you like just so wildly interesting. But yeah, Sign, at the same time, dude, that's the point of this, right? Is like we have different people on, we get the flavor of who they are. This doesn't need to look like anything in particular every time, right? Like it doesn't have to be the exact same recipe. It's whatever. It's a flavor for who they are, like I said, and it can go anywhere. But I mean, part of why, so like I do want to explore a little bit like your content creation, your journey, and where you're kind of at with it right now, because you are what I would call a quite a successful at least influencer when it comes to books and novels, hence your name.
Well, I chose the right niche, to be honest. I've told a few people this. I think if people sat there and listened, they know. I've always been interested in blogging since before Instagram. Like I was on WordPress, sat there writing my shit, and I found it hard to grow because I didn't know like all the back end stuff, like search engine optimization and, you know, how to get your blog into all that bullshit. But just as I was getting into blogging, things actually quickened. And that's when we're in Web 2 and we're currently entering Web 3, which is why streamers are going to be more important. So with Web 2...
I don't know these terms at all.
Web 1 was like AOL, send email, MSN.
MSN Messenger? Yeah. Web 1 was the best.
Web 2 is more like influencers. So Web 2 is like Instagram, Facebook, all the things that we exist in now. I think, yeah, TikTok definitely counts as Web 2. So we've been in Web 2 since basically the dawn of Instagram, which is 2010. And basically... the only reason why I started the Instagram, I don't know what I'd actually be doing if it wasn't for Instagram, really. But basically, I started the Instagram account because I couldn't walk anywhere. My leg was still fucking shattered in pieces. And the original goal was to read every single book that I own. There's actually more there now, so I don't even know why I'm gesturing to it. So I was like, yeah, I'll read every single book that I own. So I posted, the first book I ever posted on there was Philip K. Dick's Man in the High Castle. And that got like it in my head. It was weird to get like 80 likes on the first post when no one knows who you are, and then the next day I woke up with 100 followers, and then every day for several months I was getting like 50 to 100 followers a day. Wow. Posting about books and talking about books, asking people questions. But the one thing I always was aware of, because of when I studied social media, is that in the beginning, you can't be 100% yourself. If you look at my content in the beginning versus 6 months ago, it sounds like two very different people. One of them is like, you know, hey, question of the day, what's your book? And the others is like, you know, knowing the difference between overrated, overstated, and overrated, overstated, and overhyped. Like, know the fucking difference, like telling people about themselves, basically. So I guess you have to kind of earn your right to kind of have a voice in any social media platform though. Because people, you know how it is. It's like Amazon ratings, isn't it? Yeah. Like, you're not going to listen to... You're not going to want to buy from the one that has like 5 stars, but it's only got 20 reviews. You want the 4.5 stars that has 50,000 reviews.
Yeah.
And it's exactly like that. So then I started posting more, and then very much from May, June. Like 3-4 months later, I got my first "Do you want this free book?" And I was like, yeah. You know, and it's true what the influencing creators say. Stop saying yes to everything. Some of it's shit. So
oh, interesting.
So I you know, I started getting the free things and, you know, getting more involved in the community. And then the one thing that some people aren't going to admit, God forbid any of them in that community find this VOD. One thing some of them are not going to admit, I will happily sit there and admit that during the unfortunate passing of George Floyd, I was a black creator. People knew I was a black creator. I was on 4,000 followers. 2 days later, 8K.
Holy shit, it doubled.
That's fast. And I did do a post saying, you're all posting the black titles. I'm happy that you are. But you're also hiding the content that what should be seen, because the post was there to kind of signify, we stand in solidarity, but then people started using inappropriate hashtags, and then you couldn't see the actual content. Like, I woke up and I was like, is my phone broken? And then I was just like, it's not that I'm not posting the black tie, it's just that I'd rather post content that is helpful since you're all interested. Then suddenly everybody was reading these black books, which, I'm fine with. But then I just found it weird that some black people, unfortunately, were shocked when people stopped reading these books. I'm like, what did you... It was a trend for a lot of people. Like, right. I'm happy that people participated, but you need to remember when something is pushed so much in somebody's face, when it stops being, when they start getting so much exposure to it, you need to expect them to go back to what they were initially doing. Like, there was so much performative activism during that time that I was just like, well, fine, I'll give the people the content what they want, but I know this isn't gonna last forever. So right. People, they were reading all the books, they were engaging in all the things, and I was like, well, it doesn't matter what I post. So I'll post as much helpful content as I want, because that's what people were asking for.
Right.
And then it slowed down, and then people get angry, and I was like, but you knew this was going to happen. This is how it works. I'm not saying don't fight it. I'm just saying don't be surprised. Instead of being angry about it, and, you're writing the posts about how people should be doing activism, maybe help just continue promoting the books that you love and the books that you want to see being seen. One of the better things that came out of it is that publishers did reach out more to creators of color, but it was one of those things, and I saw a similar thing with the Stop Asian Hate, and that got confusing for a lot of people. One of the main reasons why I don't engage is not that I don't engage, it's that I don't like to often voice my opinion. It's because I'm British. I know I've been in some sticky situations with Americans who look like me, and our opinions differ because of where we are demographically. And every now and then I'll get the, well, you live in a colonized country, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Well, what do you want to do about it?
Yeah, right. Like, that was your choice.
Like,
what do you think? What do you think they mean by that when they say that to you? Is it like a way of them diminishing your voice because of your geographical?
They call it the diaspora wars. So,
the diaspora, yeah.
A lot of people think, don't hammer saying this because you're not. I mean, fair enough, I get that, but at the same time, to what extent are we not supposed to engage in conversation?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, it's damaging. It's damaging to write somebody off simply because of that, because then you don't engage in that conversation. I mean, there's benefit to the fact that you have this intersection of being like African American, Black, and also British, right?
Yeah.
So there's value in that. That's not worth writing off.
So so I'm happy that, to be honest, I've said this to a lot of people as well, that entire situation forced me to read more Black books, because I didn't realize what the demographic of my library was like. If anything, the majority of the authors in my library were Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. I didn't realize I'm happy they were the minorities. I just didn't realize that I wasn't representing myself. Like, I have like a few Nigerian authors, a few Ghanaian authors, a few Caribbean authors, but not as many as I thought I did. So I started reading more, and I started, getting back more into touch with the authors that I already knew. But I think also, I studied Chinese as well. I don't know what I expected. But like, it was one of those things. I also checked myself, and I feel like some other people didn't maybe check themselves either. But it is a lot of pressure, because I didn't think something so important would trickle down to the book community. Like, I'm glad it did, but like, a lot of people did show their true colors.
Yeah, that's very.
So fair. Then, after that happened, it was still like everything was still fine. I was posting book recommendations. Like, the account was still growing. I was getting noticed by random famous people. They were like, "Oh, great book recommendation," and I'm like, "Oh, hello." I'm like, "Oh,
you know who I am."
it was nice to like get introduced by authors as well. And then that year I was, Penguin Publishing.
Hmm.
I think I told you I was like a judge for one of their little competitions.
Right.
One of the writing competitions, which was nice too. Really random. And I think my bio in Instagram helped that. Because it was they do these young translation prizes, and every year they choose a language, and an author, they take they extract something out of a book from a language, and then they get these young translators to translate it, and they see who does the best. And this year it was Japan. I think at the time I had in my bio that I was mainly reading West African and Japanese works. So I think that's like the one thing that made them choose me. Because when I got the email, I was like, "Yeah, all right."
Whoa. Okay. Cool.
So that was nice. Then 2021 rolled around, and that's when things started to get weird. Instagram was messing about with reels. People were going back to normal, and that was also that was really freaking people out and stirring the pot, because also you had COVID, so it was like people were like living a kind of weird life, because a lot of Black readers felt forgotten about. They felt like they were put on this pedestal, like, oh right, yeah, we want to support you, and then everything just disappeared.
Yeah.
So it was 2020. It was just strange. People then there was a lot of really weird drama. I love racist drama, and I was like, you read books? I'm really confused.
Yeah, right. There's a surprising amount of room for racism even in that, right? Which is upsetting.
And then people were like messaging me like, X, Y, Z's done this. I don't give a shit. I'm staying out of it. I'm tired. Fucking tired. I'm going to use this space to kind of create what I can for the best. Mm-hmm. And if hopefully no hate gets here. And then was that the year? Was it last year? No, it must have been 2021, because oh my god, this is awful. So I had like my first like hate post.
Oh shit.
You
received one?
She didn't even receive it. She fucking put it on a story for everyone to see. So I did a post about, so basically because that's a niche community, because to anybody else it doesn't seem like much, and to be honest it isn't,
well, it's honestly, one niche community to another too, but it's very much our identity in the same way,
because every day I think about how I could just drop off the face. I could just leave the internet. No, a few people may notice, but you could just leave the internet.
Not even though. Don't minimize your impact on the people in your life. I think you have a much broader one than you think.
Yeah. So basically, me and a few others, we're getting sick of how people are like, oh, I read 50 books. Because there's some people, like, if you go on like some YouTube videos, there are people who are like, I read 45 books this month. And naturally, I just sit there like, were some of those books comics?
Yeah, right. Like how many of those had pop-up pictures in them?
Thank you. So I did a post about how, look, I read 2 books this month and that's good enough for me. If you've seen people who've read 45, that's the business. Well done to them. Like, I'm happy that they can. That's good for them. But like, the way in which they do it is in a way that it's like, I know the people haven't. And then also, when they get called out about it, then they get defensive, like they don't know what language they've used. And it's one of those reasons why I think people should study like English language in depth, because the way in which people use their tone to manipulate others is absolutely ridiculous, in my opinion. So I basically, it was a joke post. I was like, I read 800 books this month. Obviously I didn't. I went off on one. And then this girl, she was like, ugh, can't comment on this girl's post, but look how rude she's being. She's like, I read 50 books this month, and then she's going about making fun of people who read X, Y, and I was like, it's satire. Like, it's satire. And then she had the audacity to screenshot a photo of me, put it on a fake account saying, oh, she wants to celebrate Nigerian Heritage Month, but she didn't have her flag in her bio. And I was like, I'm not 12. What? I'm also not full Nigerian. I'm only half. Like, what the fuck? And then she was being so patronizing. She was like, oh, Miss Thing, you know, you're a young lady, blah, blah. I was like, I'm sure I'm older than you. Like, okay, that's nothing. And then, yeah, she made this fake account. I told her to report it. I don't think it's there anymore. But yeah, she was like posting all this shit about me. Like saying, oh, she hides behind her British identity. And I was like, I don't. I can't.
Yeah, right.
Maybe some humans in this world. Yeah, they are. She was just saying like horrible shit. And I was like,
what's the point?
There's nothing I can do for 24 hours. The post is gonna stay there. And then it's weird because like a couple of years later, she was like liking some of my posts. And I was like, do you not remember the hate you were giving me? The only reason why I didn't block her is because I wanted to be sure that I could see whatever she was posting.
Yeah, fair enough. But you know what? In those moments, I think it's a weird form of projection. And like, what stands out to me in that is like, even if you read 50 books this month, it's like, did you consume those, or did you reflect on those books? Because it's like, if you're just powering through a book, what's the value in it anyways? It's like, should I really trust your opinion on these books if that's how you're consuming them? It's like, obviously you're not doing it mindfully.
Yeah, but like overall, I've not had like a bad experience with social media, but like had some experiences with it. Like there was just like one particular piece of drama that I got involved in last year, and honestly, it was
you in drama. I don't know about that.
It was so because just to cut a long story short, I was told information. I distributed the information to relevant parties because of how sensitive the information was and how sensitive she led us to believe it was. And then suddenly it's like, well, that's not what I said. And I was like, and then I was like, where are these voice notes? Where are these voice notes? As soon as the voice notes came out, it was all over. It was not nice because the way I was up all night. But yeah, we won't get into that. We'll get into that another time. I think I told you once, but we'll go into it another time.
Yeah, we'll dive into that. Oh, jeez.
Back to your social media question.
I mean, this is the nature, again, of putting yourself out there. You're gonna have people who, for one reason or another, want to cut you down. And oftentimes it has nothing to do with who you are and a lot about who they are. But I mean, it's gonna have been encountered, and good for you for encountering it. I mean, you know, it's like you are putting yourself out there. You are developing a stage for yourself as a minority in a lot of cross-sectional ways too. So there's a lot that's going to come from that. But I mean, I think you do, for the most part, have done a really great job of handling that situation. But I want to continue on about like the development of social media and your place within it. I think you have touched on this, in that you are very much your foothold is on Instagram, but I mean, you feel like that environment is changing.
Yeah. The only reason my foothold is on Instagram is because I've got 12,000 followers on.
That's what I mean. This is what I mean, though.
Less. The only thing I'm going to continue posting on there is like reels, because Instagram have openly said they're going to be focusing more on videos. We know the reason that they're doing that is because of TikTok. That's it. YouTube's not going anywhere. YouTube Shorts are a fun thing now. Twitter has their live conversation section, which is absolutely stunning. I think it's great. I don't even
know much about that at all, actually.
Yeah, people can host them. And I think you can make it public or private. I'm not too sure. I've just listened into like the famous political ones because I want to scare myself about what's going on in the world. Yeah. So then, yeah, I can't bother with Instagram anymore. It's genuinely too much. And I think I was telling you about the 2 people I bumped into who follow me on Twitch, which I found very bizarre.
So you bumped into them through Instagram?
No, so basically I was on someone's Twitch looking for Dead by Daylight streams, and I found one, and then this girl was like, oh, are you like novelallure? And I went, I don't know. what my username is.
Did that start your own existential crisis? Like, am I anymore?
I was like, what do you mean? She went, all right, is this your Instagram? I'm like, oh, fucking hell, yeah, all right. We don't have to screenshot it though. You could have described me. She's like, oh, yeah, I follow you. We spoke in the DMs. I was like, oh my God. So fucking weird. It was just because I was in like a really random, I picked a random stream to watch.
Yeah.
And she was in there, and we've been speaking for months about like podcasting and stuff. And we found each other in there. She's a really lovely streamer. Really, really lovely. Really, really nice girl.
Cool.
And I found someone else in a similar way. I was just looking at someone's co-working stream. And they're like, oh my God, it's you. And I went, is it? And I went, give me more information. And then, yeah, they did the same thing. I was like, okay, it's interesting to see people from that community coming onto Twitch.
Yeah. I mean, how does that make you feel as somebody who has an image in two different places? To see like, what you're here, you're being your Twitch self. How does it feel when you encounter somebody who sees that version of you, who's the content creator?
Well, the two people that they get a sense of what I'm like anyway. I mean, you kind of get a sense if you get a tone reading, you can get it in the posts anyway.
Quick vibe check on you.
Yeah, but like, I know that other people who I know are on there. Not all of them. I know some of them wouldn't bother with stuff like streaming, because they're still posting photos to Instagram.
Interesting. Do you really think that just being a photo-centric Instagram creator or content creator, do you think that that's just kind of you're headed towards a dead end in that sense nowadays?
Unless you have 100,000+ followers, and honestly, I think is it yeah, if you're 100+, I'm pretty sure that's still only considered like medium for followers. And then for high, it's like 500,000+. So I've spoken to marketers, people in the industry, people who pay influencers for their content. You get a much better reach on TikTok, and also they're not bothered about likes because they always ask for your impressions. Your impressions are just the people who just came across your account. Like, if you look at my statistics, if you look at them from when I'm actually posting, so for example, I've got 12,000 followers. Mm-hmm. Average, like 700 to 1,300 likes. However, my impressions per week would be 150,000.
Oh, okay.
Which is
a lot. That's where the value is. And
because of TikTok, you now know the power of people viewing something. And that's essentially what impressions was on Instagram. So they can basically gauge better how much content is being seen on TikTok.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And when I can't say the businesses' names.
Well, I
can't remember all of the contracts. So, basically, when we were having these conversations, they were essentially saying that, because I was talking to them about how, the competition between Twitter and Instagram and their creators. So I just asked, I'm going to be at one point where you're just ignoring people, not ignoring, where you're just going to not contact people on Instagram. And they're like, we'll still make space for them, but all the traffic is coming from TikTok. Because,
Dan, thanks for the raid, buddy. Welcome, dude. We're running a little podcast interview here. Anyways, thanks, Dan. Appreciate it, buddy.
Because they were just like, well, that's where all the traffic is. So people can't be mad. I mean, I wouldn't be mad. I mean, it's like me getting mad at publishers for not contacting me about giving me books because I've not been posting. That's essentially how it would be.
Right.
And if you're not going where things are going, then what's the point?
Yeah, I get that. That makes sense. And so then do you think that, like, where has this set your own sense of content creator identity? Are you seeing yourself much more as moving over to TikTok now? Has it kind of created a little bit of a instability in yourself as a content creator?
Oh, definitely. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm still trying to do things, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm
Right.
definitely going to try to move towards more meaningful content. Not that what I was doing wasn't meaningful. Just
definitely
actually putting more
was.
effort into it. So, because it sounds mad. Taking a photo, sometimes taking a photo is really fucking easy, and editing it, it's not as intense as, you know, filming a video. But at the same time, people love the raw access that they have on TikTok. The fact that someone just sat there, they've recorded the video and then after reaction, people love that. They absolutely love it. And I love it too, because I sit there and scroll through TikTok like I don't have anything to do when I do.
I think all of us do that from time to time, regularly.
So I think I'll move to basically YouTube. It'll take a long time to grow, but YouTube isn't going anywhere. And I know it's not going anywhere because once they get their act together, I personally think they're being lazy with it. Once they get their act together with live streaming, Twitch is going to have some issues.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure,
they've already
right?
pissed people off anyway. They've already pissed a lot of people off.
Twitch itself or YouTube?
Twitch.
Well, Twitch for sure. Twitch is in a very interesting spot, and like I see it's just like more ads on more ads on more ads. It feels corporatized much more. I mean, Amazon owns it. It's going to naturally happen, but it feels very corporatized now. Which is why like even I'm like restreaming to YouTube, and like there's nothing happening on that end, but it's like just kind of you have this feeling that your eggs should not be all in the Twitch, just simply in the Twitch basket.
Yeah, absolutely not. Because like when they actually decide to, you know, give that space just more access and more to do, this is going to have a really hard time. I mean, I don't know who the big creators are. I always hear the stories about this creator left for YouTube, and it's like, yeah, they can do that because they have that many. It doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make a fucking difference. But it's like, have you heard of Trovo?
Trovo? No, I haven't.
Trovo looks so interesting. So that's that's a new streaming platform. It's got black and green colors.
Rod, what's up, bro? Hey, man.
Hi, Reddy. Black and green colors. I have met some really cool people on there already. Don't know how easy it is to grow on there. I've not experimented too much on there yet. I did do one stream before I got super ill, because I met two people on there who stream on there.
On Trovo?
Yeah. And apparently, I don't know how it all works yet, but apparently you can get to some status quite quick, and they will be paying quite well. Please don't talk to chat.
That's my bad, sorry. actually, Novel's been wanting to interact with chat more. I should have not said less chat interaction.
Because I feel bad. I think it's because I felt so ignored during what the fuck was it called? Until further notice.
Until further notice? Well, okay. Well, then, here. Let's just kind of off topic. Do you feel like in a situation in this type of content, there still is more value in keeping chat involved? Because my approach to this was, let's focus on the guest, and just to make sure that that's pure, honest, uninterrupted conversation.
We've had this conversation, and I've I won't be so rude about it now. But you need to decide if it is a talk show or a podcast. It's not both. Talk shows engage with people. Have you seen Jerry Springer? I'm joking, but you know exactly what I fucking mean when I say Jerry Springer.
I've never consumed such content. Just kidding.
Or like, okay, a better example would be Oprah, you know, or Dr. Phil. They ask people in the crowd shit. So is it a talk show or is it a podcast? Because with podcasts, there ain't anybody there. But with podcasts, the intention is that people will go back to it, and it is more planned. Now, if you don't have a plan, it's going to be a natural flow of conversation. I personally think it's a talk show. When you have a podcast, you have certain episodes. You tend to have seasons, depending on the podcast, or you just have a long-running show. But you do have one thing you're talking about, whereas we've spoken about 5 million, like a talk show.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you think that there's room for more interaction with chat in this?
But it's down to linguistic interpretation, because I know some people would argue that, you know, to be honest, I don't know people who would do that on podcasts, because when you have a podcast, you know, you do have specific people who are on there. There isn't, you know, room for that. But I guess it's different because what is streaming as well.
Right, that's a good point. And that's good advice there too, Rudd, for sure. And like it is tough.
Yeah,
it's
that's
interesting
true.
because like I do want this to be something that is also you can come back to and listen to it. You don't even necessarily have to watch the video version of it, right? And what brings that up for me is that I find that, say you're running a stream where you're gaming with other people, but you're also trying to interact with chat. I think that both end up suffering because you're trying to run both at the same time. Whereas the people you're gaming with, you don't get to connect with them in the same way, and then chat kind of loses out a little bit too because you're not giving all of yourself to that. I wanted this to be kind of a little bit more all of one thing, but it's hard to say, right? But we're still generating the identity of what this is too. This is the second time around on this, so.
Well, naturally, it depends on the person as well. Yeah, I just find that. Well, I've not been streaming that much, so I don't fucking know. And usually when I'm streaming, I can like look at the screen because I've usually been co-working. I do think it does depend on the person. I can't wait to be over dramatic. But I actually can't help that though. Whereas you would carry on the conversation, I can't help looking, if that makes sense.
Right. And I think okay, here's one thing too, is you're somebody who understands the dynamic of this too, and you've done your own streaming. So it's like the level of comfortability of that kind of person too, right? Where some people would feel upset if they were interrupted with what they were saying, with diving into chat and vice versa. But like, it's like you're comfortable with it. And in fact, I feel like it's the dynamic you prefer. So it can be a little bit of both.
Well, interruptions are natural because nobody speaks in like sentences anyway. Like nobody actually finishes a sentence. If we did, it'd be really fucking weird. That's why you rarely see full stops in like movie scripts, because people don't speak in we speak in utterances.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. That's really interesting. I'm upset about it, to be honest, Frank.
I'm sorry. It's all my fault.
No. You've honestly been like one of the most interesting. Well, I'd second guest on one of the most. Your top two most interesting guests I've had on here, frankly.
Thank you. That's so funny.
But no, I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation, and part of where I wanted to go is like, for you, what do you feel like you see for the future of your own personal content under your current umbrella as it stands? Do you have a vision for it in the future? Do you feel like you're kind of finding your way through the dark right now?
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I think I'll definitely get more personal. I'll definitely get smaller, because like I was saying to you in our earlier conversation, it's getting to the point, I don't think I'm getting older, or I'm just because of my anxiety or because of God knows what, I'm just craving more anonymity. There we go, I said it right this time. Anonymity and privacy and stuff like that, because people are really fucking nosy. And I'm thinking about like when I was younger, I'm like, why the fuck did I want to be on social media anyway? Like, why do I want all these people to see me? I'll never say that. I'm so happy that it's not history.
Amen, buddy.
So, I would like to think that I'd still have some sort of platform talking about books. But again, there's so many contributing factors, because I have like this, I don't know what you call it. I feel like whenever I'm doing a hobby, I have to be making money out of it in some way, shape or form, because of this horrible hustle culture that we're in. So like sometimes I put so much effort into my personal reading. Like I have like this database, Notion. I think I've told you about Notion, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I have like this reading database where it tells you like what year I read the book, like how many pages it was, like, I put all my book notes in there and stuff like that. And to fill in like the authors and the year it was released alone takes a good like 7 to 10 minutes. And then earlier this week, because I'm reading a lot of manga, so it's like there's a lot to put in, like, with the artist and the lettering and stuff like that, because that's all the stuff I like to have. And I just kind of sat there and froze, and I was like, there's any fucking point in me doing this?
Just a quick existential crisis.
And I was like, well, I mean, I like doing it, but I feel like there has to be a reason for me putting so much effort into something that's not making me money.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
well, here's
really
the thing. What that leads me to is that when you first started with novelallure, was the end point to make this something that you can monetize, or was there something beyond that like was an expression of yourself that felt like it needed to be fulfilled?
No, and that's why sorry, let me readjust myself.
We'll have to have a quick readjust.
No, and that's when I then realize it's true when the majority of, influencers say, you actually have to like it. Like, if you go in wanting to make money off of it, it's not going to work. Because I'd been doing that. I had an Instagram account before that, which I deactivated. It's more of a personal one, but that got up to like 20,000. The goal was maybe I can make money off of this one day. And then I started posting from my bed, and I was like, here's a book. I can't walk. Here's a book.
Can't welcome in, buddy.
And that, because I never expected to get contacted by publishers or to be part of anything. I literally wanted to track every single book that I owned, which hasn't been done because they kept giving me books.
You haven't made it yet.
So it kind of worked hand in hand, but that was, you hear a lot of social media and influencer advice, and the one that I do know to be the two that I know to be true is choose a niche and don't go into it looking for money. Literally unless you already have a social media platform, it's not going to work, and people can tell.
Yeah,
because you get to this stage, and it's a stage that I didn't like. They start asking to do sponsored content.
Have you ever officially done sponsored content on your channel?
Yeah, but then it has to be sponsored by you, because people knowingly not engage.
Hey, Mel,
because they're like, is this like a real review?
Oh yeah.
So,
yeah.
Then you have to invest in your own sponsored content. It's not like people don't trust you, but I've done it before as well. If I see something that's sponsored, I'm like, yeah.
Well,
not in a bad way. I'm just like, what is this?
Well, this is the thing. You can't necessarily trust that it's a true expression of how you feel about it. And so, as somebody, if you have been approached to do sponsored content, is there a certain pressure that you felt not to give your full, honest opinion of what it was?
I've lied before, and I'd do it again. Right, because the only reason why I say that is because you need to have your own contracts as well. A lot of people don't have their own contracts. They just sign the contracts that with these people that they work with, and then that's that. Whereas, because a lot of these brands, they want to have like your images for like a year or so, and I'm like, you can have it for 6 months or less, and they want to do all this shit with it. You don't know where it's going, blah blah blah. And it depends if they ask for an honest review as well, and it depends, how much and what's involved. But also, you don't want to tread on anybody else's toes. There's this one book, I'm not going to name the name, just in case somebody in my community on Instagram finds this. I'm not saying the bot name. I'm not saying it. They're fucking loving it. And I was like, this is single-handedly one of the worst YA fantasy books I've ever fucking read. Fucking boring. Like, to the point where I found the audiobook and they put it on like 2.5 times the speed so we could get through it quicker. Fucking awful. Fucking. But again, everybody has their reading taste, but the one thing I've noticed is a lot of the people in this community, not judging, they read a lot of young adult fiction books. Naturally, I don't, so I feel like I can't engage with them all the time because I'm sat there reading stuff that would depress the life out of you.
Right. But it makes you think more. Like, do you think that is that just where is the YA novel still where the audience is?
Yeah, and it's really strange. It's really strange because I thought when I was reading Twilight. I didn't realize that adults were reading Twilight. Like people my age were reading Twilight when I was reading Twilight, and people are still doing the same now with some YA books. So I'm sat there, I'm thinking, why? Like, what's so tantalizing about young adult fiction? Because even when I got to like 17, 18, when I was reading YA, I started making them a bit older in my head because it just felt a bit weird with some of the scenes that were coming up on.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Let's make you 25. Let's make you 25. Should be doing this.
Just a super senior is all. Don't worry.
Yeah. I know. So sometimes unresolved child issues. Probably. I'm happy you said it.
That's a major call out, Charlotte. But yeah, fair.
Because the one thing I find interesting was when you look at some of the authors who have written these YA books. We'll use Twilight as an example, because people now have controversial opinions about Twilight. So I can come to talk about that. If you look at Stephanie Meyer, the author, versus the protagonist, and the protagonist in the movie, it just looks like a younger version of her. I started noticing this pattern when I was reading YA books, that some of the authors look or appear to be younger version. The protagonists are younger versions of the authors. I was like, well, I'd do that, but you know. I keep it in my personal archives, to be honest.
That's interesting though. So you think in some ways, and maybe it is like partially unresolved inner child issues, or it's just like a living out of their own fantasies. And
absolutely.
I think that's human nature too, to put that into your own writing. But it is interesting because I've noticed this in myself. So as I've gotten older, because you would consume this content, these books, these TV series, these movies, about individuals who are that age, like a little bit, late teens, and you consume them when you're young. And part of why they're alluring, to kind of tie it into your own name, is that you can kind of picture yourself there. But as I've gotten older, and you sometimes see this content of people who, you're in some ways past that stage in life, I've had to find a way to kind of redefine how I consume that content and why I consume that content. And what are you laughing?
You want to fuck a werewolf?
I mean, me and Ruddy have been watching the Underworld movies, so like, I don't know, that's kind of awakened something in me.
They're pretty good movies. They're pretty good movies.
But yeah, what I was gonna say is that it's like I've consumed a lot of that content from a place of, I can attach to this because it is a subsection of the human experience. It doesn't have to be what I might picture my own experience might be one day, because at the same time I might be past that level of experience. But it doesn't diminish the value in what I can pull from it. But it's just interesting how people consume those things and why at certain ages.
I just was, because I'd always known from being on Instagram that young adult fiction was like, it was popular, but I didn't realize how popular it was with adults. So when I was engaging with people, I'd be like, what are you reading? And I'd be like, I've never heard of that. And I'd be like, what genre is it? And they'd be like, YA, insert other genre here. I'd be like, that's why. Because I stopped reading YA when I accidentally read my first adult fiction book. So here's another origin story for you.
I love me an origin story just like you, right?
I was like, must have been like 14. This is before I was going to China for the first time, and I was in Waterstones, picking up some books to take with me. And this guy was like, if you go pick up one now, you can get it was like a sale, you get it for like 50p. I was like, yeah, sure. So I picked up one that I like the cover of. I just assumed I could read it because it's for people my age. And it was like a supernatural book. Literally, vampires, werewolves, demons, everything you could think of was in that book. And it was like a 13-part series. It was a 13-part series. And I basically would buy that book every year and then read it whenever we were on holiday. Yeah. And I honestly became infatuated with these books. But bearing in mind, my jaw dropped because I was like, is that a sex scene? I didn't know those existed in books at the time. So that's when I stopped reading young adult fiction, because I didn't realize how complex and how serious and how well, for sake of lack of other words, complex supernatural books could be. Like, it was so interesting to see the dynamics between conversations and stuff like that in comparison to fucking Bella and Edward, and they're repeating the same fucking phrases, like fucking hell, fucking hell. And I've tried to read YA recently, just
Governor,
for.
thank you for the follow.
Oh, it's Governor. I think it's good. I think it's the Governor I know.
Oh, it probably is.
But so yeah, I was reading this filth, but amongst the filth was a really good story, and that's when I really started to get into reading. But since that moment, I never went back to YA or new age. I think that's what they call it. I don't know. It was just too not immature. I felt like a pervert.
Interesting.
Because in some of these popular YA books, they do, from what I've heard, not going from the horse's mouth, they get a bit filthy, and I'm just like, does not that feel weird to you?
Do you think it's okay? So do you think that it's partial? What were you gonna say?
It's not like it's weird, but would you watch? I'm not even gonna say it.
I don't know where that was going.
That is over. It's actually over. It's over.
No, but I can't.
It's exactly what I mean. I'm not saying it's weird, because it does happen. I've done it. I did it. I wouldn't want an adult watching me do it, though.
Yeah.
Or reading about me do it. And hello, Governor. Hope you're having a nice day.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate you popping in here. But you know what's, thinking about this, what it brought up in me is, because I think most of us, as we age, still don't really feel our age, if that makes sense. You know,
really, because the eye appointments and doctor's appointments that I've been to, I'm feeling 25. The audacity of the optician had to be like, "You getting old?"
Isn't that also the worst? Like, it's just like having to actually be aware of that. But at the same time, I think there's this saying that's like, in every adult is a teenager wondering what the fuck happened. It's like, we grow old, but do we really
call me out like that? Oh.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to. But I just wonder if sometimes people, adults reading these young adult novels, you kind of, I think, because as a lot of chat has talked about too, novels are such a form of escapism. It's like, I think we just kind of identify with that version of ourselves that doesn't identify with adulthood in the same way. And so you don't really realize that, yeah, maybe you are an adult reading a young adult novel. You just get lost in the feeling of it. And I don't think any of us outgrow the joys of what it is to come of age, because at the end of the day, we kind of are always in that process. I think it's society just kind of putting on different expectations of us as we get older, even though they're a little arbitrary. Same,
Governor, same. I woke up this morning, right, and my hip was like, "You want to pop?" I went, "Nah." It was. You stay right where you are.
Yeah, that's tough too. That's tough. It's tough to see your body. It's tough to see your body age past you mentally. I think that brings a lot of personal crises.
Yeah. That yoga with Adrian, she's trying to kill me. Like, no, I'm happy I'm doing it. Happy I did it today. But like, shit, like sometimes you're in those positions like you taking the piss. Like, I'm pretty.
I mean, I told you this. When you get back into yoga, day 1 and 2 feel like shit, but day 3 will feel awesome. So if you did day 2 today, tomorrow's gonna feel.
I'll like better, and I will message you, because if it doesn't, I'm fucking scream. Be a voice note of me screaming.
I made a run say I have the body of an overweight 30-year-old. I'm right in the slot, bro.
My favorite body type. Literally my favorite body type.
Oh, damn. There you go. It's the ideal body type. But I just want to see what a couple. I feel too when we get older, we realize how much freedom we had and realize how many opportunities we missed. You can only see those things in hindsight, so it's relieving in a way. Yes, very much so. Hey Sid, welcome in, buddy. I totally agree. I have this way of personally fantasizing about going back to being like a teenager with the knowledge I have now of like who I want to be and grow into, but it's all impossible to actually have happen. You don't get these perspectives without
I could never do that. You send me back. I'm choosing violence. Those motherfuckers piss me off. No.
You're choosing violence? You kept it together the first time through, but that second time through, that ain't happening.
I can't do it again. Maybe go back to like a juicy 20. No, 21. 22
okay.
close to 19.
Okay.
If I could just repeat 21 to 25.
Gov, I appreciate you popping in. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Governor. I can't believe you saw the tweet. I'm Beyonce.
It worked. It worked.
Thank you. I'll see you later, Governor.
Charlotte doesn't want to go back. Out of curiosity, if somebody offered you to go back 5 years, would you redo it? And chat can pop into this too.
I can't count.
Don't count. Just don't count.
I just count from 22. Like I'm fucking 25, mate. Why am I going back to 16?
Lockdown. Thank you for the follow.
Are you fucking joking?
What? Did you really start counting from 22?
I cut back from 22 instead of like I'm not 25 years old. Fuck me. Oof. Oh, I feel sick. Oh.
I mean, shit. Like, I mean,
it's gonna be a nice day. Yeah, I'll be fucking 20, but yeah. Feel sick.
So would you go back though? Would you go back to 20 with the experiences you have now?
Yeah. And I'd save myself from my broken leg and then getting hit by a car 2 months earlier.
Okay. But where would you be? Because like a lot of your identity now is that broken leg was a catalyst for where you have found yourself and what you've crafted.
Yeah, this is true. People say that, but I'm like, it's literally content for when I become the next Dave Chappelle.
Okay. Is that the end goal?
No, it's not. I could never be a comedian. People say that I could. I just don't. I couldn't.
Why?
Oh, come on. I'd be sweating my back off on that stage for fucking 45 minutes talking about God knows what. Like, want to hear about the time I got stuck in a desert and left my will on a camera? Like, shit.
I mean, I kind of do though, you know? Like, that's the thing. So it sounds like this is working. But I mean, I get that. I think you have a perfectly reflective and equally tragic view of the world to be a perfect comic. To be totally honest.
When God was like making me out of clay, like he did Wonder Woman, he basically was like, we'll give her like 50% juice and 50% trauma. That should stir the pot for everybody that comes into contact with her. Fucking hell.
Tough go, right? Really tough go.
Charlotte's sad.
I guess
I feel bad for not reading Charlotte's comment. Read it.
Let's read it.
I know Rod would be shouting at me right now because he wants it to be just chatting.
Bit of an ego move to put Digi's name in lowercase, Rod said. I mean, that's how I literally I genuinely came out here and I said, should it be involved in should it be uppercase or lowercase? But everything she puts out there is lowercase.
What, me?
Yeah.
For I fucking know, to be honest.
Really?
What, my username?
Yeah.
No, it's not. You see the capital and the cap. I don't know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, just the N in your name is not capitalized. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I'm well confused.
Anyway. Whatever, it's fine. That's what her Insta was.
Instagram. Right, I should have said that.
Well, sorry. Good Lord. What did Charlotte say? My life started at the bottom and it's gradually been going up ever since till this year. Only way it gets better is to keep moving forward. I mean, at the end of the day, Charlotte, very much so. You got to look forward. You can't look in the past. I mean, it's fun too, but it's not super constructive too. So
no, you just get traumatized like I do every single fucking day.
But like, so then for you moving forward, how much do you think right now what you're doing with Novel Allure and what you're doing with your content is you living your purpose? Do you feel like it's aligning right now, or do you feel like there's a little bit of a misalignment?
My poor place.
Your purpose.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything to do with my purpose. I personally don't think I have a purpose. If I did have a purpose, I think my purpose is helping other people get to their purposes, because I feel like that's all I've ever done. I feel like it's to kind of aid others in what it is they're doing, whether it's to be educated or to get into whatever career path it is. My purpose, I think that way because I don't know if anybody else's parents did this. I still get it now, but they're like, oh, who's the best? And I mean, I'm happy. I'm grateful that they say that. I'm not happy that they say that, but it's confusing. Like in the past, then it's been, well, your best wasn't good enough. I'm like, oh, sorry, who were you saying was the best for God knows how many? Sorry, what? now I'm stuck in a situation where I'll be depressed, right? And then I'll be in the mirror like a narcissist, thinking that I'm still like the best person on the planet.
I mean, I think
but that's just like a moment.
I mean, we all kind of exist.
I don't go around thinking that all the time.
That's just us existing from our own perspective. It's like, we all feel much more important to ourselves than we are to other people. It's just the nature of things, true. Right? But yeah, so you really, what's interesting to me is I feel like, so your parents kind of gave you that perspective of you're literally the best, like you can't go wrong. I always felt like from my parents, I never got that like you're the best, you stand out, as much as it was just an unconditional acceptance of who I am.
I don't believe it though, just for context. I didn't believe it.
Okay.
Because there was always a situation where I'd be like scolded or someone would do better and I was aware, like I knew it, but then I'd still just sit there and be like, yeah, me, just to because the question wouldn't stop until I said me. But like at the same time, then it's like, okay, well then how come I didn't get to the university I wanted to? How come I didn't win this? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like I've known from a very young age that I'm never going to be perfect. It's just annoying when, not that people think you are, but in everybody else's head you're a different version of you. And it's like I was saying to you a few weeks ago, this is why I hate it when people from my past crawl out or they mention me in conversation because someone from my present knows me. Like I hate the idea that my name's been in someone's mouth, I've been in someone's conversation, and they're like, oh yeah, X, Y, and Z, how is she? When they literally have a teenage version of me in their head.
Literally not the same person.
This is why, unless someone has done me wrong, I try not to talk about people because I don't know who people are anymore. Like I really don't. Like I can't sit there. Like if somebody brought you up and I haven't seen you in a year, I'm not going to start talking about you. It's weird. I think it's weird because I've got a different version of you in your head. Like when I saw one of my friends June last year, we see each other every year, but we don't speak to each other during that time. It's really funny. And he didn't recognize me. He didn't fucking recognize me at all. Because we were stood right next to each other and I was like, hello. He was just like, you don't even look the fuck saying. I know. And it's one of those friendships that I adore because we keep each other's names out of each other's mouths. When we see each other, it's nice and we can catch up. It's also one of the main reasons why I don't speak to people from high school. They sit there and they reminisce all about all this bullshit that really doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, when I hear about half these people, I think about them in a school uniform. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Very much so, for sure, right? And it's weird because, it's such a snapshot of who we are. You think back to who you were in high school, any of us who are past that. No, it's my bad. Sorry, I didn't bring you back there. But it's so different. It's so different. Yeah. And yeah, that's such an interesting perspective, is that we can change so drastically. I was in God in high school. What do you say?
I bet you were, Roddy. I bet you were.
Yeah, worshipped in high school, riding that. And yeah, so I mean, that's kind of, I mean, I think we're probably going to start to tailor down here a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I think really what I wanted to get.
What does tailor down mean?
tail it down,
wind down.
wind down. What did you say? You told me you're having a slash. What the? Instead of
That's a
taking a
that's a that,
piss.
that, yeah.
Never is that's UK terminology for sure. I don't know what that is at all. So I don't know. We're gonna tail it off a little bit, but yeah, I just really wanted to get a snapshot of what you feel like. Your if you weren't doing what you're doing now, what would you be doing to make it align more with why you feel like you're here? If you feel like you're here in terms of getting making other people's lives better or helping them find where they are.
I don't even know how to answer that question because the majority of the time I feel like a hollow shell.
Which I think lends to your sense of existential crises sometimes.
To be honest, I don't know what I would be doing. Because when I had the good old leg snap, I was working in that wine place that had me working fucking 12 hours a day, and for what I was doing for that company. Honestly, when you do so much work for someone that they're so ungrateful that you want to set the entire thing on fire.
Yeah.
That. And also, the way those motherfuckers were hemorrhaging money. Honestly, I'd love to tell those people about themselves. And that they're racist fucking customers. Anyway, I don't know because of the way they left me out to dry when my leg was broken. Then I had to learn how to walk again. So, I don't know. I feel like I'd probably go back to... I feel like I would have gone back to studying something, or... Because the one thing, I don't know if I was telling you this or if it was somebody else, the jobs that I've had, I've not had to apply for.
I think that's very common with the jobs we find ourselves in.
Like, the idea, like, obviously I've had job interviews and shit. And I've done that whole thing. I've had interviews. It's just the ones that I've happened to have. I've not had to do an interview. So I was always going about how I need a break, and then COVID happened. I was like, fucking hell. I got one right, didn't I?
Yeah,
I literally
had a break.
Yeah. And then because I remember as my legs started to get better, I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do for money? Like, I'm going to shake my ass in the street? Obviously not. But I was just thinking, like, when am I going to apply? What am I going to do? Like, what career? I didn't know if there's ever going to be a career. I don't think it was going to be a career because, to be honest, I don't know what the fuck I want out of life.
I think a lot of us are there.
I feel like not many people admit it though.
No. People are too afraid to admit it. And like when I ask these kind of questions, I don't need you to have an answer too. I think it's just a point of reflection because that reflection is ongoing. That changes. It can change every week.
Yeah. So to be honest, it gives me anxiety to think, like, not in a bad way, but I just get anxious thinking about what it is that I would have been doing. Because I would have had to have been doing something. My leg was going to get better eventually. I was going to eventually start walking again. I mean, I didn't think there was a situation where I wasn't going to be able to walk. That was hilarious and scary. And also, I'm kind of happy. I lost all the bones in the ankle. I'm happy that I didn't even lose the foot. Like, to be honest, that was pretty fucking okay. There was still enough sensation. Well, I can still move. I could still move everything. They were like, "You'll be fine." I didn't like. I can't. There's no mental multiverse where I can imagine myself doing something. And I obviously wouldn't have been social media because there would have been external pressure from friends and family to get into some sort of job role. So. Although this tragedy rolled around, I'm kind of happy it happened because I was planning on leaving that place anyway, but I didn't have a real plan. It was more, what I was mainly trying to do was, sorry, I'm getting some hand cream. I was
get that cream.
Looking. I was looking at like roles that would like train you and teach you at the same time but also pay you, and though well-paid ones are very hard to come by. And also in the UK especially, they are now doing more apprenticeship schemes, and apprenticeship schemes are geared towards like 16 to 18-year-olds, I think, maybe 19. And the reason why they are doing more of those is so they can pay them significantly less. Because if you're on an apprenticeship, you're on almost less than half of the kind of standard living wage.
Yeah.
And you can do them as an adult, but like as an adult, how are you gonna live?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, it's just interesting to also see like some of the people that I know who have got like degrees in like biochemical engineering, all that madness, and they can't find a fucking job.
I work with somebody who has a master's in chemical engineering, and they're selling shoes.
I studied fucking languages. What hope do I have then? And I think that's why I really fell into the slumber of thinking, oh, if I'm doing one of my hobbies, should I not be making money off of it whilst I'm doing it? Because everybody's always going about, oh, how to make money off of doing X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, I just want to read my fucking book. And I always tell people, the only reason why the accounts ever grew is because it was a fucking accident. I just wanted to count how many books I had. So, yeah, and again, I'm feeling, because I'm not really sure where the world is at the moment, but everything is like everything seems to be opening up again. But again, that also seems dangerous because some people are still in like isolation and stuff. Yeah. And then I'm turning 26 this year. Want to cry. And it's like I feel like by that point I should know what it is that I want to do, and I should have like, you know, all the things that society tells me I should have. Even though in my head I know it's bullshit, but I feel like I should still have it because I've been brainwashed.
I mean, yeah, and that happens. And I already turned 26 too, Mel. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll be there in August. I'll be joining the 26 train. Yay.
Yeah, the back half of the 20s. As I always say, there's just a lot more burnt out streetlights. No, but honestly, like I do think that where you found yourself isn't an accident, and I do think in a lot of ways you're living what you should be living out, but it's always going to feel like you're a little bit lost too, right? So it's the nature of continuing to find ourselves, but also continuing to just like put the energy in the places that we want to be putting them in, and I still think you do a great job of doing that with what you're doing. So I don't think you're in the wrong spot by any means.
Really funny with the amount of tragic stories that I tell you almost every 2 weeks.
I mean, you know what? We need a little bit of tragedy to help continue the narrative. So it's all part of it. It's all part of the allure there. But yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of all I really have for you right now. Do you feel like there's anything else that you want to touch upon that we kind of grazed past? No,
but you know where I am.
I do. But yeah, honestly, you were like a fantastic guest. This has been some incredible conversation. And I think you've been great in helping me kind of flourish out where I want this to go too. So I appreciate you being here. And I appreciate chat being here too, you guys. Still gonna try to find the balance between chatting with you guys and focusing on the guests. I'm still not sure there. I do think I need to choose an identity with it, but we will find out. But yeah, it's tough. Moral of the story, we're all pretty lost. So don't be too hard on yourself for not knowing where the hell you are or what you're doing, because that's what the rest of us are doing too. And like Novel said, no one wants to admit it, but I think it's about being authentic and honest about the fact that we are all lost. That's okay.
Yeah. What does that mean? Cuke?
Where are you? Kek W?
Yeah.
It's Kek W. He just said Cuke instead. Do you know what Kek W is?
No.
Okay. Before we go, Kek W is, when I first saw people on Twitch saying Kek, I'm like, what the fuck are you saying to me? But it's essentially LOL, but it's an emote. You know that video of the guy who's just like killing himself telling a story? It's not in English, but he's just like dying laughing, and then people dub over it with subtitles all the time. Do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, I'll show you later. But it's like an LOL thing. That's essentially what it is.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll learn something. I'll show you after. But yeah, let's send her the image. Yeah, I'll send her the image. Trust me, when I first started Twitch, I was like, oh, what is this? But I finally got there. But yeah, it's essentially LOL.
Yeah, my texting language definitely changed after I got on Twitch. Like, one of my friends was like, why do you say LMAO so much now? And I'm like, because ha 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 is too much.
Right? I know. I agree. Honestly, like there's another there's like an emote called Pepega, and it's essentially just like you're just kind of being stupid. Run uses it a lot. You'd see it if you have like BTTV or 7TV downloaded, but they're like extra emotes.
Because
But
BBTV.
yeah, it's like better TV. Didn't Keck originate from WoW? I don't know if it did or didn't, but I don't know the origin of Keck. But yeah, so they're just extra emotes, but I always like have to hold off on calling myself Pepega to people in my real life because they have no clue what it means. Fizz, what's up, buddy?
That's literally me.
Yeah, right. I know, but we'll figure it out. We'll all figure it out. Fizz, we're just winding down here, but it's good to see you, dude. Good to see you. But you guys, thank you for hanging out with us for this conversation, this talk show, this maybe podcast, one of the two. We'll figure it out one day. And Novel, thank you for being here.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, of course.
Shit.
Of course. Is it worth raiding out to somebody? This is the question. Let's see if there's anyone here. I don't know if I should start raiding out after these ones.
May as well. There's probably somebody juicy online.
A lot of juiciness. Let's go say hi. Let's go say hi to Crystal. I think she's playing League. She's playing League for all the League people. I know Sid loves his League. Support is good, right? Support is always good. Not worth. Unbelievable. Now I'm gonna do it. But you guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us. Had a lot of fun with this. We'll continue on with this. Sign's gonna be on next week. If any of you guys want to be on, you feel free to DM me. Because yeah, we'll continue to have lots of different guests on here. But I appreciate all you guys. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you probably tomorrow. I think I'm gonna stream tomorrow. So we'll see you guys then. All right. See you guys.